Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to be recapping my first 3 trades. Now, I'm going to try to make this as raw as possible so I don't have to edit too much because I do have a lot of studying to do. So let's get started on this. My first trade was ASTI, which was a panic dip buy. Now, I wasn't sure, I don't think I was sure what strategy I wanted to play, but panic dip buys were really popular at this time. So I'm going to be going over this one, and I decided to take this trade. Here's my comments. I'm actually going to pull this up. So right here is my trade notes. My entry notes were getting in on this perfect panic dip buy opportunity, hoping to make 5 to 10% on my first trade. And mid-trade, I typed in, it wasn't bouncing, and I got very hesitant. Because if we look at the chart, this is where I bought right at the bottom. I got a really good execution. But then it kind of just showed that red. It was like kind of just consolidating right here, and I was really hesitant. So when in doubt, get out. And I did get out for technically an $11 profit. I got out like right here around the top. But it wasn't really, here's my trade notes on Profitly. It wasn't really, I lost money on commissions. So commissions are $13.90. So I really lost some money on this trade, but it is my first technical profit. But today, you can see on these notes, I say, in on this nice panic, hoping for a solid 10% bounce. My exit notes were, another failed bounce today, so I'm out for a small loss and commissions. And that's because every single bounce, panic dip buy bounce, was just failing. So not every single, but they weren't bouncing very well compared to other days. And I think, as you're going to see, I'm going to show different examples. I think it's because they were already down so much so that they couldn't bounce very much. So if you looked at this day, that was pretty much a failed, that was a lot of fake outs, really. These are nice bounces, I guess. But this is like the top of the whole run, and we're already like 3 days down it. So I think that affected the bounce. Like, look at this bounce. That's really nice. This one kind of failed, and then it sideways. But here's some other examples, too. Let's see. OZSC. This is an okay bounce. About only 7%. See, like, a lot of the bounces were just not like perfect, even though the panic was perfect. And the same reason on OZSC, I had 1, 2, 3 down days, so I think the bounces were kind of worn out. I don't know if that's how that works, but I think it could be. Like on here, this was a pretty cool bounce if you were able to hold through that or buy that panic. OCSC has some pretty nice bounces overall, so that's one example. Another example is ENCC. This is all on the same day, the 12th. As you can see, this bounce was just like one big green candle. The price action is good, so it was a 10% bounce, but it wasn't like very clean. Like, it didn't consistently uptrend. It kind of just did a one green candle and then consolidated. And AITX. This is not ASTI, this is AITX, so don't get those two confused. But you can see like this bounce, it's super choppy and not really clean. And then off this little panic, it kind of just consolidated, so that was pretty trash. As you can see, ASTI consistently downtrending, and on the 12th that I traded it, it was already down quite a few, like 40% off its like whole run. So that's pretty huge, and I guess that could have a huge factor in why it didn't bounce. I've learned a lot since then, not about dip buys specifically, but I did get into trading SIML. And by getting into trading SIML, I started playing gap ups. So if you don't know about the gap up strategy, basically you buy before close, and statistics show that OTCs like pretty much always gap up. And so yeah, I was really heavily, like, I was thinking about that statistic, and I was like, okay, these are good odds. And me and my friend Sam, you guys will probably hear him later on, because we'll probably do like some podcast or something like that along the lines. But yeah, we are like trading companions, I guess you could say. I don't know how to title it, but we went over this trade and we both took this trade and we actually made our own strategy. I won't go too in depth, but it's basically it's basically a lot of strategies in one, and then a part of that strategy is just the gap up. So we decided to play just the gap up, and if it spiked in the morning, then we would hold through it. But as you can see, SIML did not spike. Here is my trading notes. Entry comments got in right before the close. Close for the gap up. I got in literally like 50 seconds till close. And then hoping for a run up in the morning, but if not, I'll sell on open. And then as you can see, it panicked on open, so that's no good. It did gap up, I think, an okay amount. Like, let's see. It gapped up like 5%, but like with this panic, it's so hard to get out because things are moving so quickly. And I'll explain later why I don't like that. So here's the trade exit notes. So I got lucky on this. It opened red, so I tried my best to get out as fast as possible, and I luckily got out right at my entry. So wait, does that say 07? Oh yeah, 07. Okay, so I got out right at my entry, so I only lost on commissions. Um, yeah, I mean, the problem that we discovered, me and Sam, we discovered the problem with this is number one, it didn't have news, because we found out that news a lot of the time helps the stock run on open. Um, but the reason I really like this trade is because, actually right here I have it, because it ran up 2 days and then consolidated, and then ran up one, so I held overnight hoping for that second day run and then consolidation. But I mean, it just had green days, and honestly, some other stocks also turned red that day, so it was a bit of unlucky. But there's, I mean, like look at this too, like 1, 2, 3 consolidation, 1, 2 consolidation, and I guess that was just too overextended or something. People wanted to take profits, but there was also no news, so that didn't help it spike in the morning. So, next trade is today, and I actually closed this one today. I made it last night, and these are all fairly recent, other than ASTI, which was like a week or two ago. So DMGGF is another attempt at SIML, the SIML gap up strategy. So this was pretty similar to SIML, except this one actually had good news. Number one, it's crypto, which is really hot right now, and number two, it has news on its own crypto facility, and that's really positive because the news just came out. And if I turn on news right here, you'll see news came out and then it started running, and this ended really strong. So I really like that for a gap up. And guess what? It gapped down. Out of all OTC stocks, I have only seen like 2 that have ever gapped down, and this one actually gapped down. And it looks like it gapped up, but it really didn't. It opened like right here, and then it had like a huge, like a couple sell orders went in at 220. So I could not have gotten a profit. It was not up there that long. And I got out at 192, which is like way down here. And I'm actually in at 207. So here are my notes. So, entry comments. This is ending strong, is a crypto sector, and has good news, so getting in a little before close, hoping for the gap up and a run on open. I learned from my last $0 loss that news does matter a lot of the time, and so I'm feeling good about this trade. My goal is to just get out with a profit just above commissions, hopefully about 10%. And as you can see, that never happened. So yeah, coming into this trade, I was feeling pretty confident because it ended strong. It had news. It fit my criteria. But here's my exit notes. Lost twice playing for overnight gap ups. I think the problem is that I'm trying to get these runners a day late, and I'm just late to the party while they're overextended. Because I'm gonna go back to the. Oh, I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm a day late. So if I spot this runner on this day, then okay, I can hold it overnight because it's not too overextended. Here's the daily, and I'll talk about the daily in a second, really. But it ended pretty strong, I guess. It was consistently uptrending, so this would have been a good buy into this huge gap up and run. But I think this time it was just like a little too overextended and too risky, and so yeah, my conclusion to losing on both these two trades is that I'm actually going to be switching my strategies up. So a lot of the time, the top students and top traders, they recommend you see what works for you. And so far, I'm seeing that this play does not work for me, at least right now. So I'm going back to the basics for a little while, and I'm looking into playing breakouts, swizzles, panic dip buys, because honestly, these I like these plays because you can see what's going on, you can see the prices at, you can see the level 2, time and sales, you know what's going on, and they're more slow moving, so like you can cut your losses. But with holding overnight, it's either spike or panic on open, and I don't like that. I don't like having to hope for a spike, and if it does panic, then I'm having to struggle to get out. So I feel like breakouts will be a good strategy. Here's a little example of a breakout if you don't know. So this DMGGF was consistently uptrending, and then it hit this high of day at this point, and then it kind of came down and then came back up and retested, and then right here it consolidated right at high of day. That's an entry point because consolidation close to high of day, which is called an OT swizzle, actually is really good because your risk reward is also really low. So I could have been risking, if I zoom in way close here, I could have been risking the bottom of this, which is like 184, and I could have gotten in at 185, so I'm only risking 1 cent. And then it broke out, so it broke out of the day's highs right here, and that would have been a 10%. Well, the price action isn't too good on the stock, but a 8% profit, maybe a 4% profit, and if I held towards the end for the strength, 13, and then you could even hold it overnight, but I feel like that's risky for me right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna be going back to the basics for a little bit, and I'll update you guys on that. Real quick, I just want to go over the daily chart on this and what I was thinking. I was really hoping it was going to be like a multi-week or multi-month breakout from here, and it actually already broke out, so I thought it was just going to continue running. And I really like how this volume is just consistently uptrending, but I don't know. I'm confused on what applies to overextension and how overextension really works, because technically the stock is overextended, but I guess in this market they just run. So I was hoping for that, I guess, and it didn't work out. So I'm going to be going back to the breakouts. I'm going to be trading intraday and not holding overnight because overnight anything can happen. Yeah, I mean, my explaining over this video is kind of jumpy, but I kind of just wanted to go over my 3 real trades. I've always done paper trade recaps in the past, but this is totally real, so I feel the emotions, but I'm totally fine. Like, this is all part of the process. I'm 1% through my journey now that I've made these 3 trades, and I'm prepared for the panic dip buys because there have been quite a lot today. Here's this ASTI. Like, wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Like 17% on this perfect panic, perfect bounce. DMGGF, the stock that I was in. Look at this. It had one little fake bounce, but also like look at this panic and look at this bounce. 20%, 23% if you held through that pullback. And then I think IQST was another one. Oh my gosh, I can't type. Look at that. It's a little choppy right here, but like this bounce, I mean, it kind of consolidated. 17% bounce. I mean, the dip buys are good today because the stocks are overextended. So I just like knowing what's going on, and I feel like I'm trading blind when I play for gap ups. That's the best way to explain it. So I'll update you guys on how my progress is probably in like a week or two. Probably just a week, because I'm planning on making a trade either tomorrow or next week on the breakouts, and because I feel pretty confident. I have studied them already like a ton, but I just want to go back to the basics really quickly and just like try to catch anything I missed. So, I mean, this is going to be the end of this video. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on. And to my YouTube subscribers right now, I have a movie I need to upload and finish editing. And I also have a couple videos like my iPhone 12 Pro Max unboxing. So you guys can look forward to that. Whenever I find the time to edit them, I will. I mean, I'm mostly trading right now, and like 99% of my time is going into trading and school. So I really, it's tough to get in and edit videos, and that's why this video is mostly just raw, and I might even just upload it, whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comments on if there's anything I can improve on, like the video, so it helps with the algorithm. And thank you guys. Let me know if you learned anything. So peace out.